Welcome back to Automotive Tales. On today's episode, we are looking back once again at Concours of Elegance at Hampton Court Palace. So, as you know from the previous video, we've got sort of 3 years worth of footage we've been trawling through and looking for some interesting bits and pieces. Now, this event is all about the prestige of the motor vehicle. It's all about the beauty of design, originality. Well, there's little more prestigious really in the automotive world than motorsport. So this episode, we're going to look at some of the incredible motorsport vehicles we have seen at Concours of Elegance over the years. So join us as we go and enjoy where form often follows function, but really the results are often quite beautiful.
Actually, further down the field in the different classes, 275 GTBCs, competition cars were racing against the likes of Cobras, so there was competition throughout the pack. And this is just the sort of Ferrari that was battling those races. Based on the road-going 275 GTB2 cam with the short nose, they came in two versions, long and short nose, as well as later the Ford cam. It has a fabulous competition specification, including of course Dunlop racing tyres. The axle ratio is as per the Tour de France, 140 litre long distance fuel tank, all alloy body of course, 6 carburetors, outside fuel filler, and something that people really love about this particular model of the 275 is these external vents behind the brakes here, and of course it just gives it that aggressive competition look.
Now this is one of the 10 Series 1 short-nose 275 GTB competiciones built between February and September 1965. The second built, it was ordered in right-hand drive, similar to the prototype right-hand drive cars were still being ordered for racing purposes. Sold new to Harry Napier of Ireland to compete in the 1965 Tour de France, but sadly the event was cancelled. It was then raced at Kyrgyzstan 4 times, achieving 1 first, 1 second and 3 third places before Napier sold the car in 1973. Now it's regularly seen at historic race meetings today, and these 275s can easily be driven to the track, raced and then driven home again. And such was the popularity and success of these cars that Ferrari went on to build a second series of further developed GTBCs based on later chassis series with the long nose body style. Thank you very much for bringing this wonderful car. Thank you.
GTO GT Omologato. Presented, it's the greatest Ferrari of all time, if not the greatest sports racing car of all time. Breathtakingly beautiful, purposeful and aggressive lines from Scaglietti, and engineering genius from Giotto Bizzarini and Mauro Foggieri. Blistering performance and a crackling exhaust note like no other. Built to race and to win, but the 36 cars built in total, 32 were Series 1 cars originally. Some of the Series 1 cars were later converted to Series 2 design. And one of the distinctive features of the GTO is the 3 removable D-shaped air, when in fact in the front here has these 3 removable D-shaped vents to allow greater airflow on certain circuits. But when we speak of airflow, there's an interesting story about this, Richard. I was speaking to Mr. Philip Porter, who wrote the book earlier. The Jaguar wanted to do a bit more racing in the early 60s with their E-Type, and they were looking to make it go quicker, of course, so they were looking at airflow, and they managed to borrow, and it's denied by the gentleman that loaned the car, Mr. John Coombs, who's no longer with us, but they managed to borrow a GTO and look at the airflow across the body, and they did it in a very basic, rudimentary way by just sticking tufts of cotton all over the car and finding out where it wasn't moving around, where it wasn't flowing freely, and they used that to help modify the design for the low drag E-Type. Fascinating, very basic engineering.
And you can see, look at Joe in there, the driving position is perfection with a high gear lever, close at hand. This is the second 250 GTO built, and they were all a little different. Chassis number 3387 GT began life as Scuderia Ferrari's own factory test machine at Monza, and it features this pop-riveted rear spoiler which you can see there. Delivered to Luigi Cinetti Motors in New York, where as the Ferrari North American Racing Team, or NART entry, it became the first 250 GTO to officially compete in a race. Joe, thank you for bringing the car. Great to have you with us.
The 250 LM is widely applauded as one of the greatest Ferraris of all time. Do you want to carry on or stay? Love it if you stay. So one of the greatest Ferraris of all time, and as we know, classic Ferraris are frequently referred to by the total capacity. So it's the number of cylinders and the cubic capacity for each cylinder. What would you like to do? You want to carry on? Carry on. So 12 times 250 equals 3,000. Hence the 250 series of 3 litre V12 Ferraris. However, not in this case. Chassis number 1007, great number. Capable of well over 200 miles per hour, the muscular GT40 was developed with one single purpose in mind, and that was to beat Ferrari at Le Mans. As the first cars struggled to be competitive, so for 1966 the GT40 was lightened, its steel tub was replaced by an aluminium honeycomb design, the front profile was reduced, and its aerodynamics much improved. The project would cost Ford around $9 million in the mid-1960s, so quite a lot of money. However, it was a small price to pay, and it paid off handsomely, Richard.
Yeah, the Ford, as you say, the Ford project cost around $9 million. But in 1966, at the Le Mans race, Ford GT40 finished in first, second and third positions, and Ferrari had seen its final victory at the event. Now, GT40 chassis number 1007 was one of 10 4.7 litre production GT40s built during the 1965 season. It also scored 6th overall the Monza 1,000 kilometres and gained 2 wins at Montmartre. Now, GT40s went on to dominate the most grueling of motor racing tests, winning at Le Mans in 67, 68 and 69. Now, following an accident at the end of the 66 season, It was completely rebuilt to the latest spec by Ford Advanced Vehicles in Slough. It went on to compete in the 1967 World Endurance Series, scoring a class win in the Monza 1,000 kilometres race. So here we have a very special GT40, ladies and gentlemen, and a fitting part of this Ford versus Ferrari battle. Thank you for bringing it.
Which is going to be reenacted in the morning. It's a great livery as well, isn't it? This, Richard, I think it does it for itself. But no, Porsche Porsche would not be the same without Le Mans. Porsche's been victorious at the most famous and grueling of all races, donated 19 times, more than any other manufacturer. So in the mid-1990s they felt it was time for a new car to compete with McLaren and Ferrari in the GT1 class. Porsche felt it smarter to build a bespoke race car and detune it for road use to meet homologation requirements, and only 25 cars need to be built to homologate it for road use. So that's what they did with this car. The original GT1 performed well with the GT1 victory at Le Mans on its first attempt, but the 97 Evolution had better aerodynamics and acceleration, and Porsche had their sights on an overall win. And a 600 brake horsepower flat 6 turbo propelled this carbon fibre Kevlar bodied GT1 Evolution to nearly 200 miles per hour. And then at Le Mans this car qualified third, but ultimately its gearbox failed, and its best result was third at Laguna Seca. But I really think it was interesting the point you were making earlier, thank you, Richard, about Porsche just reversed the way they were approaching
So that is all for this episode of Automotive Tales. If you've enjoyed this compilation of Concours of Elegance footage, well, let us know in the comments below. And what would you like to see? Maybe you'd like to see a compilation of the Edwardian vehicles we see there, or all the amazing Ferraris we've seen over the years, or possibly all the amazing Porsches or Rolls-Royce we've seen over the years. So yeah, bleep that in the comments below. And yeah, we'll see you next time when hopefully it'll be a video about this year's Concours of Elegance. Right, that's all. Bye for now. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Just need to pull the choke out. If only it was that simple.